But mainstream media says that doesn't exist. Frame-ups aren't happening. And more, it'll be a tiny blurb in the back of the newspaper or at the end of a TV newscast that there have been staged events where somebody burns a cross in their yard, or somebody puts KKK letters on their doorstep, or individuals have swastikas put on their dorms, or a lacrosse player is raped by 15 white men because she's black. And I can't really think of cases where it doesn't come out that it's been staged.
Just cannot stop defending Nazis and the KKK. In this video, I'm going to show you some links between Alex Jones and the KKK and Donald Trump. Of course, they're all tied together. But it's funny how Alex Jones brings up an example of someone drawing a swastika somewhere, and that means all crimes of swastikas drawn are eliminated. Somehow that eliminates them all. There are no other crimes out there. They're all fake. They're all hoaxes. That's the way Alex Jones rolls. So I'm going to show you an incident that Alex Jones didn't seem to cover much. I wonder why. How about this incident, Alex Jones? Overland Park Jewish Community Center shootings. Those were on April 13th, 2014. Done by Fraser Glenn Miller Jr., also known as Fraser Glenn Cross. He's a longtime neo-Nazi white supremacist, and he murdered 3 people on that date. Alex Jones didn't seem to cover that much, though. I wonder why. But it's funny that a bunch of the people directly linked with Alex Jones and the Sandy Hook hoax promotion were claiming that this was a hoax, just like Sandy Hook. And I made a very detailed video about that and named the players who were claiming this. They're totally wrong. The murders did happen, and the guy's a well-known neo-Nazi. But Alex Jones will claim that he was operating for the SPLC or something. He's a Jewish operative. That's the way Alex Jones will spin this. But let's listen to a very brief news clip showing you some of the details.
4 or 5 shots have been fired into the front door. There's a male with a shotgun.
The chilling 911 calls as 3 victims are shot and killed at 2 different Jewish facilities near Kansas City.
Subject shot a female in the parking lot.
The alleged gunman, Fraser Glenn Cross, also known as Fraser Glenn Miller, a name well known to the Southern Poverty Law Center, which tracks hate groups. They say he's been long tied to white supremacist groups, posting hate videos online, expressing anti-Semitic views, like in this interview with Howard Stern.
What is the biggest problem with the Jews?
They control the federal government, they control the mass media, they control the Federal Reserve Bank. And with those powers, they are committing genocide against the white race.
Hold on. Stop it right there. They control the federal government. Well, that's exactly what Alex Jones preaches. There's a secret cabal of people called the globalists who control the federal government. Alex Jones calls them the globalist occupied government, GOG. The white supremacists call it Zionist occupied government, ZOG. Kind of similar. Then he says here they control the mass media. Well, I think Alex Jones says the MSM is controlled, and so does Donald Trump. He calls them fake media. So does Alex Jones. The guy who produces fake media calls the regular media fake media. And someone controls the Federal Reserve Bank. Even though no one knows who controls that because it's pretty much installed as an illegal operation by the Bank of England. But hey, just call it the Jews. It's simpler that way. And what else did he say here? And those with those powers, they commit genocide against the white race. Well, Alex Jones preaches white genocide. Something I heard years ago listening to white supremacists speak. People like David Duke preaching white genocide. All of a sudden, Alex Jones is preaching it. But let's have a look at Alex Jones's website. So let's just take a look at Alex Jones's YouTube channel. Do a search for white genocide and you will find hundreds of videos. I don't even know how many. I can't get to the end of them. There's so many of them. Things like, is new Star Wars movie anti-white? Netflix pushing sickening anti-white racism to create racism. And on and on. Cultural genocide. Muslim immigration crisis equals cultural genocide. South Africans tell a different tale of activist Nelson Mandela. Yeah, Alex Jones likes to lie about Nelson Mandela 24/7. White people who smile at blacks are now racist. The culture war on white America. It's continuous. He's very obsessed with white Americans and white genocide. And I'll even just end it here because it's just, there's just too many of them. Blue-eyed blonde girls going extinct in Germany. And here's Fraser Glenn Miller during his sentencing. Is this guy a hoax? Was he set up by the Southern Poverty Law Center? Did the FBI make him go in and shoot people? He definitely was an FBI informant after many years of crimes. They made him become one, and I'm sure he informed on a number of different white supremacists, but he walked in and shot a whole bunch of people at 2 different Jewish community centers, so pretty solid that it's real. Even though Alex Jones and his Sandy Hook hoax friends claimed it was a hoax. Here's Fraser Glenn Miller, in court, being sentenced.
Case caption, State of Kansas versus Fraser Glenn Cross Jr., 14 CR 853. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of capital murder as charged in Camp 1.
That's what the fat lady just sang. See how.
Hold on. Is that a hoax right arm salute at a hoax trial for some hoax murders? Come on, Alex Jones. Step up. Tell us what you think about this. Is this real or is this a hoax? Was he set up by the Jews to murder a bunch of people he thought were Jews? Which he failed at doing as well. He murdered a Catholic and some other people. How about this guy? Dylan Roof went in a black church, murdered 9 different people. Alex Jones's friends in the Sandy Hook hoax group called this a hoax too. Oh yeah, a whole bunch of them said that this was all a hoax. The pictures of this guy were photoshopped. It didn't really happen, and the dead black people in coffins were mannequins. That is correct. I have the evidence of that. And Alex Jones's old friend Jim Fetzer, one of the other leaders of the Sandy Hook hoax, he even called Dylan Roof an actor. He called him a crisis actor. And he shows him here as some child actor on, I think, Doogie Howser. And here's another screenshot from his video about this with Dylan Roof. Various pictures that he claims are Dylan Roof, a child actor. It's all a big hoax. Nobody died and nobody got hurt. That's what they said about Sandy Hook. That's what they say about a lot of things. And I just noticed today that Alex Jones has gone full retard, and he's claiming that the Charlottesville event was populated by a whole bunch of crisis actors. So once again, they're trying to get the heat off of the Nazi White Supremacists and put it onto crisis actors who were probably paid for by the Jews. Because I've also heard that they're now claiming that the mayor is Jewish, and he collaborated with the guy who set up the protest. So they're saying it's a giant plot, a conspiracy. But back to Fraser Glenn Miller. Let's look at who he's linked to. Here he is doing his hoax right arm salute in a hoax courtroom, being convicted of some hoax murders. That's right. And here he is in 1991 doing another hoax right arm salute in front of a bunch of Nazis, screaming and yelling about Negroes. That's right. He was one of the KKK leaders of his region. And he was good friends with David Duke, Grand Wizard of the KKK. And David Duke is good friends with Ron Paul at one point. That's right, Ron Paul, Alex Jones's friend. And here's Ron Paul with Don Black, another KKK head who runs the most popular white supremacist website called Stormfront. They look very comfortable together. And here's Don Black in front of a cross that's burning in his slick little white robe with his friends. And here he is with David Duke after he took over from David Duke, and David Duke decided to start wearing suits and try to become a politician because that was the strategy. And here's a guy named Jeff Rense. Jeff Rense Radio Network. Old friend of Alex Jones. And what's he do on that network now besides pushing Sandy Hook hoax? Well, he hosts the David Duke Show. And he also hosts Don Black's Stormfront Show. 2 Nazi white supremacist radio shows. And there's even more on that network. And here's a screenshot of stormfront.org, the most popular neo-Nazi website on the internet. But I'm sure that's just a coincidence. And they're all linked to Alex Jones. Alex Jones has links to all these people, either directly or through one other person, like Ron Paul. And Alex Jones is directly linked to Donald Trump, one of his greatest supporters. And you can go down the line of all of these people, and they're all Donald Trump supporters. But I'm sure that's all just a coincidence. And the things that have happened lately with the Charlottesville disaster and Donald Trump coming out of the closet and supporting the white supremacists, I'm sure that's all a coincidence too. But let me end this video with an old radio ad by Fraser Glenn Miller, Fraser Glenn Cross, when he was running for Senate. That's right. David Duke's running for office. Fraser Glenn Miller was running for office. Donald Trump running for office. It's all just a big coincidence. Thanks for listening.
White men have become the biggest cowards ever to walk the earth. The world has never witnessed such yellow cowards. We've sat back and allowed the Jews to take over our government, our banks, and our media. We've allowed tens of millions of foreign mud people to invade our country, steal our jobs and our women, and destroy our children's future. America is no longer ours. America belongs to the Jews who rule it and to the mud people who multiply in it. The undeniable proof is at davidduke.com. It's time for white men to unite, to join together, and to take our country back. So join us on the web at vnnforum.com and phone me anytime, 417-463-7703. Paid for by the committee to elect Glenn Miller to the U.S. Senate.
And I think that kind of rhetoric and that kind of discussion should be also taken into account. And
all
the
right,
fact that
this will happen. Duke will come back, Jacobson, and you'll be able for 30 minutes, actually debate him on the points. And then maybe Duke can recommend who we can have on to debate with him. But David Duke, I think it was an interesting interview today. 2.5 hours you spent with us. Lots of plugs for you. But you'll get to be the victim and claim I censored you.
Tomorrow at 10 o'clock Central Time.
All right, yeah. So there you go. David Duke, very, very wolf-like. The nice little friendly wolfie. My, what big eyes he has.